Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? It is Milton.
And Synolve.
It is
Milton.
and Synolve. How are you guys doing? Come on in this house on a Sunday. What? I know y'all ready for church. Come on in. Come on in this house. I'm gonna preach the word. We're gonna have a little service. Yes, we're gonna have a good time in this house. So come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, shake a hand, shake a hand. Y'all come on in. All right. Patting my hair down because had my hair up last night, and here we go. So y'all come on in this house. We are having a good time today. What's today?
Sunday.
It's Sunday. I forget the days. Yesterday, I promise I thought yesterday was Friday. I was like, it's Friday, right? No, but it was Saturday. Saturnalia. It was Saturday all day long. Yes. And so today then is Sunday. Hello. Blind guy and his wife. Hello. How are you? And hello. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. So glad to see you. Glad you are here. And welcome to everyone over on Facebook. Milton, do you see anybody over on Facebook? Can you let us know? Yeah, let's see if anybody has joined us over on Facebook over there. Let's just see. Welcome everybody. I can't see you guys over on Facebook, so that's why Milton's helping me out with that, and I definitely appreciate him being here. So welcome everybody. I know it's a Sunday. You're probably resting, getting ready for Monday. Let me pull this hair on down. Getting ready for Monday and doing all the things that you have to do. And so welcome. Welcome everybody. Welcome. So grateful that you are here as you're coming on in. Let's see. The weather is good. Let's do weather checks. The weather is good. You can be sure as you're coming on in, like the broadcast. Go ahead and give us a like and a thumbs up. And please, if you would, if you don't mind, go ahead and share the broadcast. If you're not a member, please consider joining and hitting that join button and becoming a monthly member, or you can send a monthly gift and be a part of the Synolve community and support the work that we do as well. So we're just gonna hop on into it. We are talking about relationships and relationship management, and so hubby and I have been talking about this. We were supposed to go on last night, and we actually did. If you guys came on stereo and joined us, we actually did go on stereo live last night, but we didn't. It was our first time, so we decided to amend the conversation. I ended up interviewing you.
Yes, I was interviewed for 2021, my first official interview for the new year.
Woohoo!
And I discussed what I was going to be doing throughout the year. So go back and where can they find it at?
Stereo.
Go find it on stereo and listen to the interview, and then we can set up some things that we'll be doing throughout the year. Very excited about some of the things that'll be coming up.
Yeah, your channel, things that you're going to be doing over on your podcast.
Yeah, for the channel, we're going to have some new things this year where I'll invite people to come in as a forum so we can discuss different business components. Hopefully what it is, it'll give people a chance to meet people who are already in the industry. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to be someone who makes suits, maybe somebody will be on the panel who makes suits, and you can ask them directly what you want to ask them, and they'll have a better answer than somebody else who doesn't exactly do that specific business. So I'm going to try to do that at least once a month. I think that'll be beneficial for a lot of us, those who are already in business and those who are considering starting a business. That'll be a good thing, good tool to use. And also with the podcast, I'm going to create some certain days a week, 2 days a week. One day is going to be dedicated to women business owners, where they'll discuss what they did to be successful, some of the techniques and tools that they use, and they can share with other women. And then one will be Fridays, will be for the men to do the same thing. And then once a month, hopefully in that forum, we can bring everybody together on a Zoom, a live YouTube, or StreamYard, where we can have that open discussion so we can all grow together and build together to become successful in all the things that we're doing. And one way to do that is community and family and sharing and learning and growing with each other.
Absolutely. And so this is just very exciting in 2021. As we're moving forward, we're getting a lot of things together and really moving forward in the way that we want to move forward in a positive direction. So it's a good time to start planning and to really get your, plans in order. And so I commend you for having all these amazing plans.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And no, I am not taller than Milton. My chair is just higher than he is. So in case you were wondering, I'm so much not taller than he is. I am very short. But yeah, his chair, the chair that he's in is just short, a little bit shorter than mine. All right, guys. So I'm excited. Very excited. Well, let's go ahead and hop on into this content because Milton has things to do, places to go, and people to see.
Let me do one last check on your Facebook to see if we got anybody over there.
All right, let's check on Facebook. Hey, Facebook, I love y'all. Thank you so much for all of the support over on Facebook and YouTube and my friends on Instagram. I'm telling y'all are just truly amazing. And I really appreciate y'all so much. So if you're over on Facebook and I don't see your comment, just go ahead.
Come on over to the live.
Come on over to the live, honey. Come on over to the live and make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Just make it do what it do. All right. So let's see. We're here. Let's see. Hello. Can I spell y'all? Hello, everyone. All right, so Milton and Synolve. So Milton and Synolve. Yes, hello.
Good evening, Mr. Hillary.
Mr. Hillary says, strong sister Synolve, from strong brother Milton, and strong family, blind guy's wife in their life. Wow, I am in time for another live. This is a wonderful start to 2021.
It is.
So glad you are here. Hello, everyone over on Facebook. Hello, everyone on YouTube. 2 viewers, 5 likes on Cole. Yeah, they're coming in and out. You guys, 5 viewers in and out, 2 viewers in and out. Something's going on with the internet. We've had internet problems for the last couple of weeks because of what happened in Nashville. How many of you guys know about that?
Yeah, that bombing in Nashville is only a 2.5 hour drive from us. But it was with it happened to the AT&T building. We have service through AT&T for both the phones and the internet. So we have had some disruption in services for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Because
of that. So hopefully they can get that worked out. I mean, this is extended from Tennessee, Arkansas, and into Kentucky. So it is what it is right now. So we just have to bear with it and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Just in time, Mr. Hill. Just in time.
Yeah.
So we are grateful for all of you all. Grateful. And like I said, we had already, a lot of things are happening here and there, across the water, across the sea here in the U.S. And so we had already decided that we were going to do this and had talked about doing, series on relationships since Milton and I came together and we were doing, the conversations together about repatriating, talking to your spouse, talking to your children. We were doing all that. And so we just decided that this would be a good time in 2021 to kind of rebuild and, stand on the foundation we had already created where it comes to talking about relationships. Hubby has been in a relationship with me for over 30 years. And I've been in a relationship with him for over 30 years. So woohoo. Yeah, we've learned a few things along the way.
You learn a lot in 30 years.
We've learned a few things along the way.
Yeah.
And so we got, like all of you all have, relationship experience. And so we thought we'd come together as a community and kind of talk about it. And so one of the things that really changed my life when it comes to relationships is, this idea that we have to manage our own relationships But most importantly, we have to meet people where they are. And that was something that my husband talked to me about. And actually, the lesson you taught me, because this was not within my wheelhouse. When my folks, said, when Ruth Smith said, meet them where they are, that means cuss them out where they stand. You hear me?
Wow.
Where you act up is where you get cussed out. And that's how I live my life. I mean, that's how I was raised. That's how I live my life. And I, talk to my husband, and we would have these conversations because my stepdad and my mom, Ramona, which I went to live with my grandmother when I was really young, when my stepdad and mom fought like cats and dogs. I mean, me and my mom used to jump on his back. He was so big and so tall. He's like 6 foot. We wasn't doing nothing, but he would laugh and, and go on. And, of course, they go on in the room, close the door, and you hear stuff flying and stuff thrown and whatever. Okay. So I escaped that. My mom sent me to live with my grandmother, and eventually they got divorced. And so I grew up in a very volatile, when I tell y'all I was raised by sailors, I mean that. Ruth Smith will cuss you out wherever you were, whoever you were. You hear me? You got to go off on. And that's just how I was raised. And so the beautiful, refined, chic, kind.
Wow.
No, me.
Oh, okay.
Well thought out person who is controlled now in what I say and do. She took time. She didn't come. I mean, Lord, thank God there were no video cameras when I was throwing remote controls and breaking stuff. Thank the Lord. Anybody else in the house? Am I the only one? Because that's how I was raised. That's the environment I came up in, and that's what I knew. And so when I got my own house and did my own thing, that's what I did. Now I have apologized for that, but how many of you all can be real in this? Anybody else gonna be real in this house? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Maybe it's just me.
We all go through periods in life where we look back and say, wow,
I can't believe I
acted and did like that. But it's just the truth of the matter. We all have moments. And if we didn't, I don't know where you grew up, but we all have moments in our lives where we can all say, wow, I've come a long way. I've grown. I've changed. I understand life. I've made the necessary adjustments that I needed to make to be happy, to be respected, and to be understood. And that's a growing process. So we all go through that, and we continue to go through that each and every day with the different people that we meet in our business world, our family, just the people we meet every day. But we don't go in the store much anymore. Right. But the people we used to meet in the grocery store, the coffee shop, at the gas station, those were all relationships that we built, whether we know it or not. And people formed an impression of us based on those relationships. So that attitude is very important. The way you present yourself is very important because people will remember that, good or bad. I mean, people always say it's hard to make a second impression. It is. It's hard to make a second impression. But sometimes you catch people on a bad day and a bad moment. And that's truly not really always who they really are.
Right.
So you have to give people chances to prove themselves. And just to, if somebody came to you, snapped at you one day, it's the first time you ever met them, your first response is, through with them. But you don't know what's going on with that person in that moment. And the next time you see them, they're a totally different person. You're like, wait a minute, this is not the same person I met.
Right.
So you have to respect them and respect yourself. But I don't want to get ahead of myself before we start talking.
Yeah, we have to forgive, forgive people and meet them where they are in that moment. And so, and that's what that's what I had to learn, because a lot of my I've come a long way, baby moments. Y'all remember the ad? You come a long way, baby. A lot of those moments, right? And I've said this, earlier, I'm so glad it was no video cameras when we got together 30 years ago, because Milton would always say to me, your word would always be, you arguing with yourself.
You're not arguing with me, you're arguing with yourself, because you're upsetting yourself.
He would say, you made yourself
mad.
Yeah, I would say, Mel, you made me so mad. You really upset
yourself mad.
You hear that? And see, that would be another argument, right?
But when you think about it and you analyze and review the situation, be like, well, yeah, I guess I did make myself mad. I'm getting mad over nothing. So you have to think about it. But let's get started.
But it took me 20 years to get to that point where I could see that I was making my before. And this is why I talk about emotions, right? I talk about emotions a lot, and the ego and detaching from your ego and detaching from yourself. And I say this all of the time. I'm a strong person. I say this, and look, I say this, I tell you this all the time. And Milton is more or less, until he gets to know you, the quiet one. But he's extremely strong to be able to deal with my personality. And the Most High knew that. I am fire. Do you hear me? I am fire.
I am earth.
And he is earth. I am fire all day long.
I'm water to cool fire.
Right. You're earth, right? So that means I'm Sagittarius, so I'm fire. Mm-hmm. I'm fire on fire. Okay.
I'm earth.
And so Milton is dirt. So what do you need to
dirt?
I mean, you're earth. I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm dirt.
No. Milton is the earth, right? And so what I mean, and the earth is good because that's where you grow all your nutrients and your vegetables, right? Yeah. So he's the soil. So Milton is the soil. So how do you, those y'all who, went to the Fire Class Academy, y'all know, how do you put out a fire? Water doesn't put out all fire.
Dirt.
Right. The real thing that you can put is sand, right? And soil will put out any fire. You hear what I'm saying?
Dirt.
Good point. Strong Brother Milton. Brother Milton name sounds like an army general. Born to lead, fearless fighter. Respect that. You got to be strong. So the Lord knew, the Most High knew, the ancestors knew when they were putting all together. So we got all our low points, Mr. Hillary says, and we have our high points where we evaluate our life and where we came to how we end up at in our current times in life when we start reflecting.
That's right.
And that's the truth, because I say this, I will say this throughout this broadcast, that, I'm glad, because I had some moments. I've had some in Walmart moments with store managers, and my son told me one time we were at Sonic and I was going off on the manager because they did something real stupid. Well, and I was not making the situation any better, and I acted just as unkind as the person who was talking to me. And my son said to me, Mama, give them all their food back, because you have sat here and talked to these folks and went off on these folks. They probably spit in all
your food. Eat none of this.
My son said, "Dog, Mama, when you go to the restaurant," he's like, And when he got to he said, "Don't ever argue with people when you go to a restaurant and they fixing your food." He said, "Mama, you don't know what's in this food." He said, "Get you a refund, get all that money back." And so when they got older and they could drive, they would be like, "All right." I would say, "Okay, well, I'm fixing to go get some food," and they'd be like, we'll go get it.
We'll get our own food.
We'll go get it. We'll go pick it up." Because you don't need to get upset.
It happens. It's part of life. It happens.
And I have to keep that. I have to keep her, that lioness. I have to keep her under and low and meditated. I was gonna say medicated, but I don't take medicine. I have to keep her meditated. You hear me? But I didn't know that. I didn't know how to control my inner power. I didn't know how to control my inner light. And I didn't understand that my inner light, my inner power, my talking to people, and was when I was talking to people and going off on folks and cuss folks, I should have been on YouTube somewhere. Y'all hear me? That was the gift. The gift was coming out, but I didn't know. I didn't have the inner strength. I didn't have the inner knowledge or wisdom or power to know what to do with my own strength. And I was just wielding that power and using it in all kind of willy-nilly ways. I was just out there just all kind of ways, because I didn't know my own power. I didn't understand my strength. I didn't know who I was. So Milton, you said you wanted to begin. You got
okay. You want to say hey to
Tom? Say hey to everybody. Let's see. Go back. Yeah. Was it a bombing?
You know what? Explosion. We've got friends in Nashville who sent pictures. If you see these pictures up close, you would think it was a bombing, but it may have been an explosion. You're right. We have to find out what's the term they want to use.
And
but if you see the pictures, it's like, my God. And it's really amazing that only 3 people got hurt.
And then
nobody died. So it's a horrific sight to see. It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. And there's a lot of information that's not coming out about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I put some posts up to check on friends on my community tab, and people from Nashville were commenting, and YouTube deleted all the comments. So I'm assuming
it's a hush-hush situation.
Yeah, it is.
Which we understand that.
Yeah. So Jatan says, "Hey fams, what would you say in one word has been the saving grace for your marriage?" Go.
Love and respect. Well, I'm sorry, one word. Respect.
I'd say Milton. I would. I would say Milton, because he has the patience of a dove. I mean, Milton is so patient and so loving. And when so we're gonna need to end the broadcast right there.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
He is so patient and so loving. I was so broken. I was so hurt when I came into this relationship with him, because I had previous. I hadn't had a lot of relationships, so let's be clear. Let's be real. And I think that was also part of the problem, because I hadn't had a lot of relationships. I didn't have a lot of experience. There were so many things I hadn't done. I didn't have a lot of experience, and so I didn't know what it meant to be in a relationship. And I had poor role models. As much as I love my grandmother, she had been married 5 times. And she divorced her last husband. And had there been another, there would have been a 6th.
6 times.
Yeah, it would have been 7 times,
now
8
Luther
times, 10.
4 times.
And they didn't work. They didn't work. And so I didn't have that solid foundation. And then I went to live with cousins, and they had a great relationship, but there were also issues within there as well. There were issues, and so it is what it is. So I had to learn through that. So Milton, I would say, was really our saving grace. Milton helped me to heal, and he loved me so much that I wanted to heal, and I wanted to be everything that he needed. And it did take time. It took that time. And so I'm really, really glad, I'm really, really glad that.
Well, Jatan, you segued into where we need to start. When we talk about meeting people where they are, like Synolve just shared her experience, I had 2 choices I could make. Either I could respect where she was, or I could be upset and say, you need to do better and you need to try harder. I could have taken that approach. So the approach I could have taken was, like I said, respect where she was, meet her where she's at, or be so upset that she's not where I think she needs to be and force her to be somewhere where she's not ready to be at yet. So the key to meeting people where they are, I would say, is beginning with respect.
Yeah.
Respect them for where they are. You can't make somebody run when they're just only able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. You can't make them do something that they're not able to do. And I think a lot of times people want people to be more than what they're capable of doing. And that's not something we should judge people by. We should just understand at this current time, in this specific place, this is all they can give. This is all they can present. This is all they can put forward. And we shouldn't let our egos get in the way and say, no, you should be better than this. You should be able to do more than this. What if people judge us like that on everything that we do? What if you open a coffee shop and you only serve 10 people and somebody comes in? You should be serving 100 people, but you only have the capacity right now to serve 10. Does that make you a failure? No. It's where you are in the moment. And people have to understand you have to respect people for where they are in the moment. If you want to help me, if you want to see me grow, meet me where I'm at. Walk with me. Give me the steps. Give me the tools. Give me the resources. Give me the respect to say, hey, look, I see you. I understand. I've been there. Let's walk this out together. And that's the most important thing that you can do, starting when you meet people where they are. It's respecting them and respecting yourself enough to say, I see you and I understand. You can't make people be something that they're not. I mean, I see a lot of people with their kids. Oh, I want Johnny to be a baseball player. I want Sammy to be a football player. Sammy's a scientist. He's never going to be a football player. He's going to be an important scientist. You have to understand that and meet him where he is and encourage him, inspire him, give him the tools and resources to develop what he has. Don't make people be something that they're not. Understand, like I said, if Sammy can only walk with Sammy. Build him up to the point where he can learn to run. But right now, he can't run. He can only walk. And that should be okay. Respect him enough to say, I see you, I understand. I'm a storyteller. I'm going to talk about a family member. Okay, I've had a family member, and he'll know who I am when I talk about it. For years, he always wanted to do podcasting. That was his thing. He wanted to do podcasting. But the thing was, I don't think he ever had enough courage in himself to understand what it took to do podcasting. So I had a choice. Either I could say, stop talking about this because you're never going to do it. You just talk about it, you talk about it. Or I could say, look, when you get ready, we can do this. Look, how you doing as far as podcasting? How's it coming? This was like a 2-year process. Now, today, this cat has a podcast that he does every single day. He does a podcast every single day. And it's because I was able to respect him enough where he was, not to discourage him and saying, you should be farther than this, you should be doing this, you should be above this. No, you meet people where they are. You walk with them, you talk with them, you encourage them. And then you'll see them begin to blossom. They'll begin to blossom and they will appreciate you for it. And you'll respect yourself more for it. Let me let you talk a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, me?
Oh, okay.
No, you're fine. So this is what I get. When I tell people, oh, I've been sitting with Buddha, this is what I mean. This is what I get. And so the one thing, because Milton is strong enough, right, to help people. He not only helped me to harness my power, but other people. He just is talking about managing relationships with his, with his cousin. And so, did I say that out loud? Oh, sorry. With his family member. and so so I had to, had to learn and honor him, because when we first got together, I was used to, and growing up in Mississippi, the definition of what it meant to be strong was a man who also hollered, or watching my grandfather, not my grandfather, but watching my stepdad. I was used to a man who hollered or who, was very aggressive. And so my husband
That's a Southern thing.
Right. My husband is very kind and very loving. He'll see just how he, see that little look he just did. Yeah, and so sit there and kind of let me be, whatever. And so I had to learn that it took a lot of strength and power. And not only that, he never stopped my voice. Because sometimes the first thing, that a man will want to do to a strong woman is tell her to shut up and sit down somewhere.
Quieten you. Yeah, make you quiet and make you shut up and sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you're talking too much.
But Getting on my nerves now.
But that's not the case. You have to let voices be heard.
Right.
And sometimes people don't know how to express their voices.
That's okay.
But you still have to let them be heard. Sometimes it's good to let people hear themselves. And that's something that I had to learn real early. Let people hear themselves. And at some point, they're going to realize, I need to change the way I'm doing this. I hear the message, but I'm not portraying it the way that people need to hear. Go ahead.
Okay, let me break that down.
Break
so
it
that
down.
means
Simple
so that what he would say to me then, when we were by ourselves was, "Oh yeah, I'm just letting you hear yourself so you can see how stupid you sound, how crazy you just saying in those words, but so I can let you hear how how you sound." And that really worked. So he didn't use those words, but he would say, "I would let you so you can hear how you
hear yourself.
Let you hear how you see. Let you hear how you sound." So I learned that helped me to learn how to listen. That helped me to learn how to focus my energy and to watch how I show up. In the world, and also to really make the choice and the decision to say, is this me? Come on, somebody, because I'm preaching now. Is this me?
Preaching now.
Right. Is this me showing up? Or is this my grandmother, Ruth Smith? Or is this my mother showing up in this moment? Is this my aunts? Or is this my uncles? Who am I? Who am I? Who is Synolve? And what is her personality? How is Synolve supposed to react and respond? And sometimes the problem is, it's both men and women. We never really get to know ourselves, right?
True.
We don't get to know ourselves. When I met my husband, he was very quiet and very reserved. And I would always say, I think you talk much more than you allow yourself to. And being, a middle child, he's a middle child. So being a middle child, he would not always communicate, which, be another source of conflict. And so, relationships are, all relationships, right? Come on now. They're very tangled and woven, and that is
many parts, many
pieces. And so in any relationship, one of the things that women will say a lot about men is that they don't always communicate. And so what I had to learn was love languages. I had to learn.
That's some big words right there.
His love language.
Love language.
And so Milton's love language is
late night love language. That's a new radio station.
Yeah. So Milton's love language, y'all right now, y'all getting the real. Milton's love language is, I'm there. I'm there. I'm never gonna leave you. It doesn't matter what you do or what you say. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. Go ahead, get it all out. Act the fool, do whatever you
when you get through,
I'll still be here.
I'll be sitting right over here. But that's well, we're not going to change the subject. But men communicate differently than women.
Right.
Women like to talk and be expressive. Men like to respond with gestures or with different actions. Example. Y'all been arguing. I'm saying y'all been arguing for 2 days, and on the third day he bring home your favorite food. That's his way of saying, I'm sorry, I messed up, I apologize. And over time you will learn his gestures. You may expect something to come one way, but you have to understand over years you learn to communicate. You learn how to talk without talking. And that's something a lot of marriages don't understand. You can talk without talking. Everybody grew up different. In the South, it wasn't all that big
flowers
and cookies and cake.
Well, no, it was cookies and cakes.
It was cookies and cake. It wasn't flowers, roses, and candy. We didn't grow up like that. It is what it is. That doesn't mean there was no love in the house. We just didn't grow up like that.
So, okay, so I'm gonna tell this story, and
you tell it then. Let's hear it.
So when Shubham would make Madia upset, he would go fishing and bring her some fish, and she loved crappie. So he would go to Sardis Dam and he would catch as many crappie as he could.
That's special fishing.
Woo! As many crappie as he could get. And he
Overflowing.
slapped them things down on the table.
And she'd understand what that meant.
Here you go, Maple. And that was it.
But she understood what it meant.
So
I'm sorry, I messed up. I'm apologizing.
You ain't gonna get out. You ain't gonna get out.
You don't get no. I'm sorry. I apologize. You're gonna get the crappie, which mean the same thing. And it's okay if your relationship is built that way. to accept that. I mean, don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing in their relationship. You have to to develop what works for your relationship. No two relationships are the same. You know, some folks love it up, hug, kick it. That's the only way they communicate. But some people you can do that, and then you extend beyond that. You know, it's just as simple as some folks. A lot of folks get mad when their spouses call them 24/7, 365 all day long. Well, yeah. Well, I'm getting ready to go on lunch break. Why are you calling me? I just want to check on you and let you know where I'm at. Okay. But that's communication. But the day you stop doing it, they're going to call you and ask you didn't call me for lunch. What happened? I thought I was getting on your nerve, but you didn't call me. So it's just building that communication to where you respect each other and you come to expect these things. And when you don't get them, you kind of wonder, is everybody all right? But that's building a relationship. That's building a strong relationship. In each married couple, even single people, if you have relationships with people, there are certain traits and things that you know that you do to answer them in different ways. And it is what it is, and it's okay.
And it's okay. One of the things I loved about your parents, for example, and this is something Milton does with me, and that is, I'm trying to see if I got some.
What you got?
Because I usually have them. I think they're all gone. But so one of the things your dad would do for your mom is whenever something might go on, he would come back with a little brown paper sack of cookies and cakes.
Full of cookies. You know, cookies made them sweet on you. You know,
so sweet. Her favorite cookies. Her favorite. He would, if he had to drive all the way down,
gonna get them cookies.
He gonna get them cookies. And the favorite was, and she like. And so
and you guys probably have the same thing where it's something you know that you get mad at. Well, let me go get him a cookie. Well, let me go get her a moon pie. She like moon pie, and she'll know that I'm sorry. But that's relationship. That's relationship, and that goes back to again meeting people where they are. Don't make people into something that they're not. And one thing that I want to share too.
If he's not a flowers and a chocolate,
don't get him no flowers and chocolate.
Don't turn him into that, and don't beat him up on Valentine's Day if he bring you some catfish from your favorite catfish spot, and he don't bring you no roses. Don't.
I bet you eat it.
Take the ham hocks and go on about your business.
I bet you eat it. But one thing I want to say too, as far as meeting people where they are, one thing that you have to understand. It's not up to you to decide what's best for people. Let that sink in for a second.
All right now. Preaching in this house. Come on.
It's not up for you to decide what's best for someone. They have to make those decisions themselves. Now, you can encourage, you can inspire, but until Johnny's ready to step over into a new direction, all you can do is support him. You can support. You can encourage, but don't push, because you want him to continue to find himself. And once he does, he'll show you. Like I said when I come to the podcast, he knew he had it in him, but he had to just take the time to find himself. And now he walked into it. And he's walking it out every day. I'm totally proud of him for doing it. And we have to do that with everybody that we meet. Don't push them. Allow them to walk it out. If you want them to run, but they can only walk, like I said, walk with them. And you may start to pace out getting a little faster, but you meet them where they are so that they'll feel comfortable enough to say, okay, let me dig down a little deeper to see what I can do.
Yeah, because, sometimes the first thing we hear is, I'm tired of I'm tired of you talking about that. I don't want to hear about that. You're going to do it. And
you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that because that's like,
that's discouraging people.
That's very discouraging. So, Miss Hillary, strong sister Jatan entered in the building, sister. Good question. Yeah, that was a good question. Thank you so much. Let's see, Miss Hillary. When it's 25-20 isn't supposed to everybody else is a beat good. Look, that's the whole question. That's because it is what it is. Someone who was saying that the other day that we can have a march and break out one window and the riot gear everybody out.
Everybody coming out. Yeah.
But then you can have a whole
block to blow up.
Right. This what you're talking about right here. And and you hardly ever see anything about it on the news. It's much worse than what you see and what you've been shown. It's much worse than that. And so It is what it is. Yeah, I see your point. Very good. Let's see where else, y'all. How far am I? Okay. Oh wow, you're lucky to have. I am, and I think he's pretty lucky to have me.
I am.
Excellent point, Brother Milton. As to me, it's a critical thing to bring us to a heel as a race quicker than usual, I believe. If we just are patient with each other and love with each other.
You have to be
Meet
patient.
people where they are.
Yeah, it's again, it starts with respect. It starts with respect. Like us going into New Youth, into this new market, into this new arena. We have to respect the people that we meet. We have to respect them for what they're doing, what they're trying to achieve, where they are. And it's a learning experience for everyone. It's not for us to push them above where they are. It's up to them when they want to make a decision to move forward to do that. So again, it starts with respect. And if you don't have enough respect in yourself, you shouldn't be out trying to encourage and help people to do better, because you're not ready to deal with it. Because you're going to say something or do something that's going to totally discourage them, and you're going to have a harder time trying to get them back on track than if you just waited and walked with them along the way. So since we're here, what are some of the biggest questions that you guys have when it comes with go ahead.
Comes with
I can't
with relation
when it comes with meeting people where they are. What's the biggest challenge that you face? Say a family member or a friend, when you want to see them do more or to do better, but you have to understand either they don't have the capability of doing more or they're not quite ready to do it yet. So what did you do to encourage them to do that? You want to share a link, somebody come talk, or we just want to hear it in the comments?
Well, let's read a few, and then I'll let's see.
Go from there.
I'll invite some people here. Okay. Let's see. So DeChan says that is MF and deep. Meet people where they are, not where you imagine, hope them to be. Which begs the question: why is it so important for others to be where you think they should be? Right? Is it love or is it Memorex? Right. Here's that quote, right? Which is so important for me. And Oprah has said changed her life. I've told you what changed my life, which was meet people where they are. And that is, what changed Oprah's life was when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And so that was one of the lessons, because I was having a lot of pain because of some situations and things that my mom, when she was alive, was still doing and involved in, and things that she had done when I was a kid. So I had a lot of situations and trauma from being raised by my grandmother. So I was still healing and going through all of that. And it was not easy. And so I, had to grow through that. And fortunately, I had to be loved through that. I had to really be in a safe space and a safe place, because my world was continually turned upside down. My mom gave me away eventually and finally for the last time, because she had done it several times before, but for the very last time when I was 6 years old. And so that was very traumatic for me. And then to see her with my stepdad and the children they had together, and to wonder why I couldn't be there. So, different things. I finally met my dad, and that was traumatic because his wife was not interested in having me as a daughter or any of the other children that he had. So, it was constantly this thing of rejection. So in a lot of ways, and I, Milton and I talked about this, I had gone through a lot of rejection. So a lot of what I was doing was acting out, trying to push him to leave, because that was how my whole life had been. I just expected people to leave and to not be there. Right. I just expected people not to do that. And Milton was like, I ain't going nowhere. And 30 years later, here we are. And so able to talk about it. And so that meant he knew, and I was open and upfront, and we'd have these huge therapy sessions, but, up and up front about, what I was feeling, what I was processing, and the plans that I would make for the year. So every year I would have around this time, I would set one goal of something I was going to work on. I was going to work on healing one thing in my life. And that whole year, I would commit to healing that and processing that and all of the emotions and all of the stuff that would, come up about. I was owning my own poop. You hear me? And so that was, very important. And so we have to realize when you're dealing with other people. One of the things when I was looking at my mom, for example, this really helped me when Milton and I talked about it was I had to meet her where she was because my mom, was used a lot of, I don't know what you want to call it, but non-prescription substances that were
enhancements,
right, that were not healthy. And she was schizophrenic. So you have that mixed together and it was just a lot of stuff. And so, to process. And so I had to meet her where she was, not as the mom I wanted her to be, but as the mom, the person that she was. She got me here. And that had to eventually be enough. You see what I'm, see what I'm saying? And so we can't put it on Memorex, and we're definitely not robots. Your point where you say humans could think, they serve 100 people, but in reality they can't. That's what to prove us that, that's what the system wants to do. They want to prove that, robots can, right? And so they're, easing us out of the system. So that's why in this time is, you as your cousin, your family members moving into this digital space. That's why it's important for us to move into this digital space. You're seeing what the matrix is doing, you're seeing what the system is doing, and to really get into a space where we are creating businesses outside of the matrix that the matrix can't control.
Yeah, you made a point a little while ago where you were talking about, you were telling about your childhood.
Yeah.
And learning from that. I think one more thing that I want to share that I think I've already talked about, but that's very important of understanding, meeting people where they are. It's allowing them to hear themselves.
Right.
Allow them to hear themselves think, hear themselves speak, and just to hear and listen. Because I think sometimes when people, like we've learned, when you listen to yourself and you hear what you're saying and you hear the thoughts you're thinking come out of your mouth, it will awaken you. It will help you to see that something needs to change. Maybe I'm going in the wrong direction. Maybe I need to refocus my energy somewhere else. So you as a person who's helping them, your job is to just listen. Your job is not to push them in a direction. Your job is not to discourage what they're saying. Your job is to listen, to allow them to hear themselves. How many of you just sat down and talked to yourself and you said, wow, I really didn't know this is how I was really thinking. I really need to change how I think about this. I need to change how I think about that. But that's growth. That's showing that you're growing, you're maturing, that you're able to hear yourself and understand that I need to change. And helping people, meeting them where they are, is listening to what they have to say and not judging, not criticizing, not even pushing them in the direction they want to go in. Like I said earlier, you're not there to change anyone. You're there to allow them to become better at being themselves. And that comes with listening.
Yeah.
And with Synolve, the thing that I did with her was I listened. I listened to the stories of how she grew up. I listened to the stories of the struggles that her grandmother went through. I listened to the family dramas and the family stories that were happening. And that was out of respect because I couldn't change what she's been through. I couldn't change the experience that she grew up with, but I could understand it by listening to what she had to say. And the same vice versa. She had to listen to my stuff too. For me growing up in the country and all of that, she had to listen. But if you're not willing to listen as a true person of support and encouragement, don't get involved.
Don't even get in a relationship
with somebody because you're going to hurt them.
You're going to get
frustrated yourself
and you're going to get hurt.
Well, I'm not taking that. But you're gonna hurt them. You're gonna hurt them and make them feel like they're not worthy of achieving the things that they want to achieve. So be very careful when you choose to intervene in somebody's life. Go in with respect and love, and it'll make a lot of difference.
Yeah. So Mr. Hillary is in the house.
Mr. Hillary's in the house.
All right now.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening to everyone, and good evening to everyone in the chat.
How you doing?
Hello,
I'm
Mr.
good.
Hillary.
How are you?
Good.
Sir.
So, my quick 2 cents to contribute to the topic here.
Mm-hmm.
A few months ago, last year, I was in a discussion, I think, on another vlogger's channel. I won't identify the person, but the topic was, what do you think that we could do to solve our group as a race?
Mm.
This is to what your topic has rightly said. I was explaining to them, one, let's start with the people with destitution, like all people on the continent who are destitute or all over. For example, on the continent, right? Why do you think our people who are destitute will gravitate to 2520s when they come around? Why do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have resources to offer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Plenty of them are struggling. They don't have things for them to survive daily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are studying where they're going to get their next meal to survive the very next day.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was quizzed on the panel to say, well, hear what now? Well, hear what? That's the destitute ones. What about the ones who can support themselves, who can get jobs and support themselves and so forth? Well, I told them the same thing applies. Because why you think that most of them who can support themselves
Mm-hmm.
don't really care about black empowerment so much?
Right.
The same issue. They feel that how they are in their current state of environment or how they are in their lifetime with regards to their careers and so forth, they feel that they're undervalued. They feel that, they don't have enough resources to live as comfortably as how they want to live. Right? So I was basically debating the fact that we keep focusing on the mind. Yes, the mind is important.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have majority of us not really studying to fix our mind first,
Mm-hmm.
or when you do the studies, because I've done some studies myself, personally, interviewing people and so forth for my enterprise, and when you check it, you get a common reality, a common consensus that most folk, reason why they have such mental problems and they're not happy and they don't want to focus on black empowerment is because the basics in their life is not taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
which is they don't have high paying jobs, they're not paid well, they're undervalued, and they're struggling. So if you take care of the basics in their life first, that is how you meet people where they are. That's why I love this topic. Because if you take care of their livelihood, I told them this is where most people get tied up and don't see this. You don't have to approach them about black empowerment.
Mm-mm.
They would approach you. They will come around because they see you are the one that helped them when they were at their lowest.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At their lowest. You provided the resources that they wanted. You helped stabilize most of their problems center around economically.
Mm-hmm.
Because if their economic system, environment around them, where they could take care of themselves and their family, is basically sorted out for the most part. They are stable in their life. They are living comfortably. They don't have to fret day and night of how they're going to struggle to make ends meet to supply and support their families.
Yeah.
Once they know that that is taken care of, and especially people of their own, black people,
Yeah.
they would come around to you when you want to make a proposal to them afterwards. They
Mhm.
would make time and hear you out. And
Yeah.
that is where most of our people are getting issues of trying to wake up our people
Mhm.
collectively and meet them where they're at,
Get them where they are.
Right.
Yeah.
right? Because they're doing it
The wrong.
basically on this philosophical wrong way, in my view,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that will not work.
Yep.
Mm-mm. Don't
You
work.
have to solve the immediate problems, and the immediate problem for most of us is finances. If
Yeah.
you do not provide proper working jobs and high paying jobs for them that they can live comfortably, they would not contribute to the cause. They would not want to hear it.
That's the
Yeah.
truth.
And that is where they don't understand the simple concept. They make things so difficult, and that's why there are so many different views. I'm not saying it won't work eventually, or it's not one of the main issues. Eventually, the mind, yes, but you need to understand the contributing factors to the mental illness that we have.
Yes.
And
Mm.
majority of the contributing factors is finances, their
Yeah.
That's
everyday
true.
life, the immediate needs, which is financial, what's the word? Financial security.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's all I have to say.
That was
Oh, that was
good.
good.
That
Come
was
on,
good.
come on. Yes, sir. That was good.
That was
I
good.
mean, because this is why we
Good.
do what we do at Craft Organization.
Yeah.
We feed people first because they cannot hear you
When they're
if they
hungry.
are hungry. If
Yeah.
their belly is growling louder than you talking, man, they can't hear you. And that's why in the West, what do? They give all this aid, the grain, and they give all these subsidies in the food to make a person able to bend them to their will and then listen to what they have to say. It's making them malleable, like you hammer and hammer. Every time they give aid, every time they give food, every time they make a drop and give the rice and the beans and all of that stuff from the West, and they take it to wherever, Africa, wherever throughout the world. And that's how they. And so what we want to do is we want to preach to people. We want to stand on the pulpit and we want to preach to people, but we don't want to feed them. We don't want to clothe them, and we don't want to give them the things that we need. Y'all do that. You figure it out. And then you want to be ugly when somebody comes to you and says they hungry and they ain't, in your own family. We could solve a whole bunch of stuff if we just
That is
help the
correct.
people right here in our own family.
That's true.
If we just start right here, right there with the people on our block, I could.
And I
You
for sure will make a donation to your organization soon. That's guaranteed. Don't worry about that for sure.
right now,
Wonderful.
we're just grateful for you and your voice and you coming when you come here. And Mr. Hillary, we're just so grateful
We
for
appreciate
you
everything you do.
for being the best admin in the whole wide world. We just appreciate you for holding it down, sir. We just
Hold it down.
appreciate you.
Good job.
But
Thank you kindly.
Yeah. I grew up in the South. That's Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas. And one of the things that the people in the South experienced a lot was what you're saying, financial insecurity and food insecurity. So as a community, what people did for my family and the people I grew up was we would help each other. We would help each other with food. We would help each other as far as getting jobs. If I was working somewhere and I knew somebody else, they need to hire somebody, I'd come and tell my family members to get you some financial security. And I think we've lost that somewhere when we don't think it's important to help each other. As a farmer, we understood that I grew a crop, you grew a crop. I share my crop with you, you share your crop with me.
somebody grow greens, somebody grow potatoes.
We all got fed.
Yeah.
And that kept us healthy. And then we were able to go out and work and get financial stability. And we shared that throughout the whole community where we all helped each other. We respected each other. We met each other where they were, and we grew together. Now today, people are so worried about themselves. What can I do? How am I going to be the star? Well, how can I be at the top of the list? That we forget that we need to help each other.
My four.
You can still shine. You can still be at the top, but it's your job and your responsibility to help each other, to listen, to aid, to provide resources, to give experience, technology. Share your story. Sometimes sharing your story is one of the biggest things you can do with somebody to help them to understand that they can do it. But we have got to get to the point where we don't neglect one another. I don't care if you're in the West, I don't care if you're on the continent, I don't care where you are. We're all human beings and we need to respect and support each other. I'm going to leave it there. But you brought up a great point. I really appreciate that because you cannot do anything when you're hungry. All you want is something to eat. You can't think about building a house. You can't think about building a bridge because you're too hungry to even do anything. Your basic needs, like you said, are not even being met. How can you do anything on an empty stomach? I really appreciate you bringing that up. I'm going to have to tell somebody about that today, though.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
That was good. I appreciate that.
Come on now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
Bless you. Bless you, sir. That was good, y'all.
Yeah, that was good because it's important in the South. I mean, I grew up in the South. Like I said, I saw a lot of people go hungry. I saw a lot of families, kids come to school.
Yeah.
Only meal they got
was
lunch.
Yeah.
It was lunch. But we grew up in a time where the lunch ladies understood that this may be the only meal Johnny gets until 7 or 8 o'clock. So they made sure that you had a good hot lunch meal to fill your belly.
And take this extra sandwich and go and sit down somewhere.
Yeah, and
don't tell nobody you got it where you got it from either.
Because they knew one thing more than anything, you needed to get an education. And if you're sitting in there and your stomach growling all day, you're not going to listen to your teacher. You're going to fall behind, and they're going to consider you to be dumb and unteachable. And a lot of that happened to a lot of kids of this melanation. Is that what I say?
Yeah, you go.
Of this melanation. Because they were just simply hungry.
Yeah.
But as a community, as a family, we need to see that need and feel that need. We have the resources, the ability to do it. If we just don't think, well, can I say biblical thing? The Bible says not to think too highly of thyself. When you think you've made it,
right?
And that's if you can make it, everybody else can make it. Which, okay, we can live with that. But we're human beings. We're here for what? One another. We live in what? Community. Yeah. You don't live by yourself. You live in community, and you should respect that. And you meet people where they are. Johnny may not be making the 200,000 you're making. He only may be making 12,000, but Johnny's still a human. Johnny has the potential to make that if he so chooses to do so.
If you help him.
But you don't disrespect him for where he is and what he's trying to achieve. I appreciate that, Mr. Hiller. I really that kind of did something for me today, right there.
Now y'all see how. Now you see how he.
I gotta take a snack break.
Yeah. Now y'all see how Milton really talk. Okay, I just wanted that side to come. Preaching in this house. So that was good, Mr. Hillary. I thank you so much. Mr. Milton, did Mr. Milton go to psychiatrist school? Dag, he did. Look, when I tell you I'll be sitting with Buddha, this is what I want him to do on his channel. I really do, because this is power and it's powerful. But Buddha came out this way.
I grew up.
Buddha was this way when I met Buddha. When I was 21 and I met Milton, he was 22. Buddha was out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a grown. He was like 45 in a 22-year-old body.
Made me old.
No, not you didn't look old. He was very mature. So Buddha came out this way.
I grew up.
Buddha came out this way.
My grandfather had 9 kids. Everybody had at least 3. So there was a whole bunch of us at any given time during the week at my grandfather's house. And my grandfather had about, I think it was 10 of them. So we always had uncles and aunts all around. So every day we were filled with wisdom. There was wisdom and knowledge, school teachers, educators, workers, all around us that was always there pouring into us, whether we want to hear it or not, pouring into us life skills, life lessons, things that we need to do going forward. And those are things that stuck. Like they say, it's not so much what you hear, it's so much what you taught, it's so much what's caught.
Right.
Sometimes you're eavesdropping and you hear stuff you ain't got no business, but sometimes that's the stuff that sticks to you and helps you to grow. So I grew up with a lot of wisdom. I had two aunts that were school teachers, and they love to talk. And when I say they love to talk, they're like, they're still talking. But you caught so much from them talking that you learned a lot of life lessons. And I think families need to understand that. Don't disrespect your elders. Don't disrespect your family members. Listen. Sometimes just listening to that uncle who you say crazy and don't make no sense. But he crazy for a reason. Because he probably went through something that you'll never know about that put him in the state of mind that he's in. But he's trying to share it in the only way that he knows how. And it comes across to you as crazy, but that's his way of communicating. So if you take time to listen, you'll eventually learn to break down what Uncle Crazy is saying and understand where he is. So you meet him where he is and don't judge him and don't talk about him. Just listen.
And that was one of the things that helped me, because Milton explained that to me, with my mom. And it was, okay, I don't know everything that she went through. I don't know everything she went through before she had me or while she was having me. I will never know. And so what I had to do was take the wisdom that she shared. One, she got me here.
Yeah.
That was a lot. And two, she did share some things. I literally took African American studies in college because that is what my mom told me to do. And I could only get a minor because that was they only offered a minor at the time at the University of Memphis. So she was the person who sparked this love of Africa for me. And I literally, when my mom was well and had really great days, she'd take us on picnics, and she was just the best mom in her whole wide world. And so when I became a mom, I really wanted to be that mom. I wanted to be, so I was a stay-at-home mom for many years with my children. I only worked here and there, just a little after they went to school. And so most of the time I was with my babies. And so I had to meet her. I had to see my mom where she was. Also, my grandmother, who raised me, even though she, had her own issues and own things, as we all do, she was a teacher. And so she would do things like bring Vaseline. She'd bring a towel with a little soap, and she would tell folks, "Come here, babe." And she would tell them, "Go take this soap and clean yourself up." And she'd have clothes in the back of her car. This is why I got clothes in the back of my car right now. And so this is where I get that stuff from. And you ask them, kids, they would look and, would be snack time, and other kids wouldn't have snack. And she would always have a little nab or a little cake or something. And she'd reach in her drawer and she'd give them, a little food. And that was how I was raised. And so, yeah, but she had some hurt and some pain from, going through different marriages, all of that stuff. So I look at the whole person, but I couldn't see all of that. I couldn't see all of this whole person, right? Because I was so angry with her, for one, because she died when I was 14 and I had to go live with cousins. So I was so angry for such a long time that she left me. And so dealing with grief, I had to learn about grief, learn about the 7 stages of grief. And I had to realize as an adult, is this me showing up? Jatan, this is perfect. Is this me showing up? Or is it that scared little girl? Is it me? Is that me, myself and I? Or is this a scared little girl? Is this me or is it my ego? That's why when I talk about detach from the situation, pull yourself out of it. And that was something I had to learn, because otherwise you're stuck in these situations thinking this is you saying, "I hate this person. I don't like this person." And you need to question those voices when they pop up. Is that me saying it, or is it the ego?
Yeah.
I'm mad today. Well, what you mad at? Is that you mad? Or is that just something in the wind in the air that you just something that just passed on by and need to pass on through? And you need to let that go. But so many times we catch every thought, we cling on to every perception, everything that comes through us. Some stuff is just supposed to come through you and keep going and keep on going.
But you grab it and make it stay.
You grab it and make it stay and make it yours, right?
Does Jatan want to come talk about the scared little girl?
Yeah, Jatan, you want to come on in? Come on in.
Come on, talk about the scared little girl. Share that with us.
Yeah, come on in. I left the link, y'all. Mr. Hillary, 3 likes, 3 watching, 7 likes. Thank y'all for coming in. Thank you for everybody over on Facebook. Jatan says Mr. Milton is just like me. I don't speak much, but when I do, watch out.
All right now.
All right now. Miss Hillary got the eyes on you. Right? I am. That's him. Right there. That's him.
Do all that little stuff.
That is, come on. If you are on Facebook, all you gotta do is click that link and you can come on in. If you are on StreamYard, come on in. Come on in. Jatan says, I think the greatest principle I can practice when relating to others is acceptance.
Exactly.
Preach. There are a lot of reasons why I resist that. Control, fear. It's just big on screen.
Oh, okay.
Control, fear, anger, past trauma, no self-awareness, to name a few. And that's all the mix that I definitely kind of flow in. So control, fear, anger, past trauma, no self-awareness, to name a few. And then just not really realizing who people are. So when people show you who you are, you know, you need to believe that you, because you can't make them be. You can't make another person be who they're not. So when they show you who you are, when they, you know, if they show you that they're untrustworthy in a particular area, right? So, because I had a lot of trauma and pain. And so one of the things I had to realize, if you can't trust a person in a particular area, you can't trust a person in a particular area. And it really doesn't have anything to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's all about that person, their lessons, their stuff, and just ease yourself all, you know, on out of the situation, because it doesn't have anything. Don't make it about you. Let it be on them and let it be their stuff. And don't bring their stuff into your house and into you. You hear me? Because that's important, right? That's important. And we have to deal with all of these different cycles, all of these different things: control, fear, anger, post-trauma, no self-awareness, not even aware of ourselves, not aware of what we're feeling. We're not even aware of what we're manifesting, what we're bringing into our lives, right? So those cycles that I had when I was a child, I didn't understand all the cycles, right? And so I was trying to bring them into my new cycle, my new life, because I didn't want to release it. And I didn't want to let that stuff go. I was trying to control the situation. Well, if he's going to leave, he's going to leave because I made him, because I acted, whatever. And we don't realize you're acting in anger, acting in fear, acting in past traumas, and you're not self-aware. And in this age, in this season, it's the time to be self-aware. Know thyself. You hear me? This is your power to know yourself. You were going to say.
Oh, I was just going to make a comment. You said trust in your statement. And I think that's another principle too.
Yes.
Of meeting people where they are. You have to establish that trust. Someone once said trust is like a broken glass. Once it breaks, it'll never be the same. So you have to be mindful of that when you go into a new relationship with somebody, meeting them where they are. Once you lose that trust, it's going to be very hard to get it back. Like a broken glass, you can put it back together all you want, but it'll never be completely the same glass it was. So be very mindful of that when you go into a relationship, to encourage, to help, and to lead and guide somebody, to establish a strong foundation of trust. You don't want to break that trust, because once you do, it's going to be very hard to get it back. So that's why it's so important to be respectful to people and to listen.
Right.
To be able to meet them where they are. Because if not, once you break that trust, you can get it back, but it's never going to be the same. So just be mindful of that when you go into any relationship. The trust is very important, and it's fragile. It's very fragile. Like breaking this glass. You can put it back together, but it's going to be a little different going forward.
Yeah, and you if there's something's already broken and already got a little crack in it, don't just go swinging nilly and breaking stuff anymore. So my grandma say 2 wrongs don't make a right. Well, 2 brokenness don't make 2 brokenness either. So somebody gonna have to work on something.
Somebody got to have some common sense.
Somebody gonna have to.
Somebody gotta have some sense up in here.
Preaching this house.
Old folks used to say,
"Come on,
2 people can be arguing. Somebody in the house got to have some sense."
Cause somebody gonna have to, and that was Milton's word all the time. Well,
have sense
you
up in
won't
there.
say nothing when I say something. And what would you say to me?
Somebody got to have some sense up in here.
We both can't be in here
I
shouting
can't be
food.
crazy.
Somebody got to.
All right, we got Miss Bailey up in here.
What up,
Well,
Milton?
how you doing?
And Synolve, the crafts.
Happy New Year.
Happy New You.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
She got
Happy
me on
New
live.
You. I wanted to talk about this little girl, man.
Okay.
Let me just say this. Nobody gets a human guidebook.
One-on-one. You don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't come into this world with a book we could just refer to on being the best human ever.
That's right.
And so we come in, as little children, most of us, I believe, come in with, I'm just saying, the jury is still out for some folk. But that's another post.
There's some aliens out here somewhere.
That's another conversation. We're gonna leave that right there. But for the most part,
I'm gonna sip on this tea right here.
yeah. For the most part, we come in pure of spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And we sort of, and I've been listening to a couple of YouTube videos about what happens to us around the age of between 3 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Up to that point, we are pure of spirit. We just God incarnate. That's probably the most God we can be in our lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens between 3 and 6 where the brain literally, the information that the child is receiving is literally downloaded into the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so that where I'm living at from, where I'm speaking from, where I'm behaving from, where I'm acting from is more often than not between that 3 and 6-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brain is so impressionable at that time.
It is.
The stuff that I experience, the circumstances that I experience, somebody might say something that lives with me for the rest of my life. And I'm gonna get personal. My father told me one time, because I used to cry a lot. And I realized that I cried because I'm a crier. I'm emotional. Stuff touches me in a way that perhaps it might not touch other folks.
And that's all right.
And that's all right. But I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you're under this impression from the people around you that you're supposed to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so my father, and that comes from us being social animals.
Mm-hmm.
My father said something to me. He said, I used to cry a lot, whatever. And he said something to the effect of, don't mess with her or don't bother her. She's fragile.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize at the time that was downloaded.
Mm.
And I sort of took that and believed that and attached myself to that and sort of lived out this victim, I'm weak, and all its manifestations.
Yeah.
And see, as a child, because I don't have a guidebook, and most of the folks around me, they ain't got no guidebook. They winging it too. We all kind of winging it. And they can only give me what they have.
That's it.
And so I'm processing it as a child. Well, as an adult, the way I process it is, you know, he was afraid for me. He was scared. I was his daughter. He was concerned about what would happen to me. Or in his own life, you know, maybe he went through some situations and circumstances where you couldn't be that. You couldn't be that because only harm would cause to come to you. And he didn't want that for his daughter. It could have been a number of reasons why he said that. But as a child, I downloaded it and basically lived my life up to this point. I mean, I still see it in how I move about life. I still see it in how I relate to others. I still see it in how I feel about myself. That I'm not enough. That something's wrong. Something's wrong. And you know, I think we do a disservice to each other when we, like Milton said, we don't let each other be where they at.
Right.
Yeah.
And love them through it.
Love them through it. That's good.
Love them through it. Love them where they at instead of, like I said in the chat, where I think they supposed to be at.
Right.
Or where I want them to be at. Most of the time, I want them to be a certain place because I don't want to have to deal with whatever. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Right.
That's true. It's self-centered.
That is the truth.
Right.
It's self-centered.
Yeah.
You know, some of it is love, but some of it is that Memorex.
Right.
It's a copy of love.
Right.
But we do ourselves a disservice when we don't accept, especially as children, when we don't accept the differences in children. Like Johnny. Johnny ain't no football player. Johnny might be a pianist or a writer or whatever he is.
That's okay.
And we insist because maybe Johnny might be like a burly dude. And we think because he's burly, he's supposed to fit in a certain box, in a certain category.
Right.
And we do a disservice to each other when we don't accept our differences and celebrate them.
Right. Celebrate.
We don't celebrate them. We shun each other. We judge each other. We point our fingers. You supposed to get this. You supposed, and that's just the mind trying to. You know, the mind does what it do. The mind wants to categorize and put everything in a box as a way of managing all this data it's receiving, managing those fears, whether they're psychological or physical. That's what the mind does. But we do a disservice to each other when we don't really just appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate Synolve's hair.
I do too.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate that she talks in a spiritual and passionate way.
Yeah.
I appreciate that Milton is a Buddha.
Yes,
I appreciate that Milton, Milton is out there farming and, helping with the. I mean, I remember the first video I've seen of yours, and you were out, I think, in the yard or something, and y'all was doing some kind of farming or something, and Milton was off in the background. Well, I said, well, damn, why we can't see his face? Why ain't he showing his face? I said, but at the same time, I could appreciate
running from the
camera. Right. That's why I was so glad when he finally came on the camera. I was like, oh, that's him. Okay.
It's work.
But see, I can do that now as an adult.
Yeah.
And we don't really teach that to children. Children kind of know it. They run up to each other. They don't care what's going on. They don't care who you are, who the other child is, whether the other child is white, black, purple. They don't care.
They don't.
Until they get to be about between 3 and 6, and all that information starts to download, and now they gotta,
get in line. You know, one of the things when you talk about that, it made me think about, because I suffer from that. I was the one who cried all the time. I was the one that was on my grandmother's leg. I was her shadow. I was right there. And so I was the one told, you got to be strong. You got to learn.
right,
Weak. You go out there and folks just gonna run all over you. You got to be better. You know, I was told that. And so what I did was then become stronger than I needed to be in situations where I didn't even need to be strong. I did
the opposite. Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, and so it is what it is. And I've had situations where I did was like totally opposite, and I'm too quiet or I'm too this because I'm intimidated. I'm scared. I'm afraid. I don't want to speak. I don't want to use my voice, or I use my voice at home. But then when I need to speak up or be in my gift, I won't. I'm too afraid. And so I had to learn how to harness that power and harness my own gift.
Right.
So I could stand and I could do and speak and do things that I was supposed to do, but that I'm called to do, right? That we're all called to do. So you're harnessing this stuff, getting this gift,
right?
Right. So I'm not walking in fear, not walking in the past, not walking in, but I'm shining as brightly in my gift as I need to shine. I'm standing in my own gift, standing in my own power, and doing the things that I'm supposed to do, being the person that I'm supposed to be. That's why I love that you started your group. You know, we out. I'm so happy. And I can't wait for you to start your YouTube channel.
Right.
And show all
it's coming.
Because you're so creative. You were showing on WhatsApp the cards. Remember I showing
that was beautiful. I saw that. That was real nice.
You know, you just creativity just drip out your pores. You just wake up and boom. I created a whole new world. I mean,
right. And see, look, hey, I'm still working in that. One of the books that kind of helped me with that was The Artist's Way. I'm still working on that. What my life has become about, and this is the point to your mother, because your mother and I may be in the same fellowship. My life has become about a journey of recovery.
I see.
Recovering and remembering the truth of who I am and whose I am.
Yeah.
That's what it's been about. And it's been, I was saying it earlier today, it's been an arduous journey. And it's been a daily. It's daily.
It is.
I mean, sometimes it's moment by moment, minute by minute, just walking in that and fully realizing the truth of who I am.
Yeah. And
not all that stuff that I tell myself that they told me, because they told me some stuff too.
Right.
You know, not all that stuff that's been downloaded and I kind of got my tentacles and I'm just holding on to it for dear life.
Right.
Like, what's that about?
Right.
I mean,
and that's the season, releasing all of these things that no longer serve us in this. And that was me. I mean, so on the 31st, what I usually do is a white bowl ceremony. And so thank you to John Gilmore at Open Heart Spiritual Center here in Memphis. He does a white bowl ceremony, and you write on that piece of paper, and you can do this bowl ceremony anytime. You write on the piece of paper everything you want to release, and he does it on the 31st, and they burn it on the 31st right at 12, and it releases. So you write on that paper. You take that little strip of paper, people be writing. I'm like, it's just a little bit. You be writing, turn it on the back and you write it.
Yeah, my church calls it a burning bowl.
That's it. And then you sit and you release it, because you can't hold. So daily, I'm having to release daily, even when some of
Right.
the old stuff, pops up. My mom was very creative. She drew, she did artwork. My mom could paint anything. She was extremely intelligent, and she was an empath. She heard voices. She's very spiritual, and she knew things. For her, she did not know how to harness the gift, so she felt a lot of things. She felt everything, and it was often too much. And sometimes, very powerful, creative people who are being used by the ancestors and being called, because we don't, in our culture now, you don't have the system of the orishas and all this other stuff. You have all these things when you're being called by even Shiva, when you're called by Shiva to do, or any goddess or god, or just whatever it is you believe, Buddha, whoever, I don't care, whatever. We don't have that within our culture. All we know, we've been beaten to know, is Christianity. That's all we know. And if God didn't call you, and there's no you, and if you were raised in me, raised in a Baptist church or a Methodist church, then even prophetic and prophecy doesn't exist. And especially if you were raised in a Baptist church, a woman, you can't even preach. So there's such a limit to who you can be and what you can know and how you're supposed to use your gift. And even when you're sitting painting and drawing, to know that this is prophetic, you're prophesying in this season the things that are coming, and that these are things that are to come. So we don't even have this idea of what it means to be spiritual. And don't play now, because we as African Americans got our own spirituality.
Wow.
We got our own spiritual. And I was thinking about this morning. I was like, I don't know if I should call this African spirituality or African American spirituality, because we would have mixed up and got with all these different tribes and moved and had to do different things to survive, and put the pinto beans in the hair and put it in cornbread and everything. We done made dressing, a whole bunch of stuff. So it's in us. It's lived through us, and the way we speak and the way we talk and the way we live. And so we actually literally prophesy our lives and have these gifts that have not been allowed to see the light of day.
Somebody said it's African. It's just how it's expressed here.
Right.
Like it's African in Brazil. It's just how it's expressed there. And so on. It's African.
Yeah, it's
African.
So, but one of the things, I was listening to some, stuff that goes on, the internet, and I'm going to stay off of YouTube for the rest of today. Y'all keep watching me though, but I'm just saying I'm gonna stay off. And go over and watch you.
Sometimes that stuff is traumatic. I can't deal with no more trauma. It's too much trauma now.
It's too
much.
I'm
sorry.
We expect, I don't know why. This is the only reason I'm doing this whole going back to spirituality on my channel. Well, it's a lot of reasons, but I didn't ask the ancestors call me. Truly I didn't, because I was really trying to do something else. And the only reason is because I began to see so many people get to the motherland, and then it's just all the stuff just hits. And so we expect people to be perfect instead of me.
Yes. Oh my God, Synolve, I was just saying that. I said this whole thing is a process, and we cannot expect them to be over there and be all of a sudden they whatever we imagine they're supposed to be.
Oh yeah, Africa. You get to Africa and that magic wand while you on the plane.
Y'all be shaking yourself talking
about the American just poof,
it's gone.
Went out of you.
Right, and you don't think that you mixing yourself and your stuff that you got going on from your childhood, and you get there and mix with other customs, and they bring their stuff into it. It's gonna be
It's gonna be some stuff, right?
Wait, you gonna go and come back?
No, I'm sitting right listening.
And then, I mean, and then not to think that all of this is for your good. Don't you think some of this stuff needs to be worked out? If we really
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
think it needs to be worked out, this stuff
Healing from trauma ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. It ain't gonna be all shiny and goldy and glittery. It's not pretty. It's not at all. It ain't gonna be pretty.
It ain't, and that's why I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I'm glad that they didn't have no cameras back in the day. I'm so glad that they had no iPhones. Me and Milton first got together. Woo! Y'all don't need to see all remotes and bowls and food.
Cause y'all look real good now.
What, man?
What?
First 48.
First 48.
You've been on the first 48 with me.
Y'all look good.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out 30 years. 30 years.
You better ask somebody. And they were just trying to come out here on no. I just want to be real. I mean, my thing is to be transparent. I ain't trying to come out here acting like we always been perfect, and I ain't never said the wrong thing, and I ain't never, step myself back to be able to sit back down somewhere. I mean, because it is what it is. It is what it is. It's life, and it's real. And let us not be out here. What's the word?
Say it.
Let us please not be out here lying to ourselves about who we are and the stuff that everybody, because I, watched some stuff today, and I'm like, why is it? Y'all know y'all have art, y'all have had some stuff go on with a significant other and stuff and mess, and it was messy, and it was whatever it was. But the thing is love, is being real about your stuff. And heal, because you can't heal that, but you can heal you.
Right.
And you can get and start digging in your stuff and get your stuff together. Right? Because that's what's important in this moment.
So our next class will be on self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-respect.
Self. It's gonna be on.
We're gonna talk about self, how to be a better you.
Right. How to be.
Y'all write it down. How to be a better you.
How to be a better. Now, wait a minute.
How to be.
Okay, so January's. I want to ask Milton real quick. January's focus is change.
For on my channel, it's change.
Right, it's change.
As a group, we will do how to be a better you for January.
Okay.
Yeah, how to be a better you, because you brought us some great points, and it all dealt with self.
Right.
And that's like you guys were talking about the people who were on the TV the last couple of days acting a nut. It has to do with self.
It's self.
Right.
It's self-respect. That's the bottom line. Both of those parties didn't have any self-respect, and they need to acknowledge that, because what you portray, people see. And, and don't forget that. That's something. First impressions. People make first impression, because I knew them, but I don't know them like you guys probably know them. And my first impression was, these fools crazy on TV acting a fool like this in front of all this world.
On TV.
Acting a fool. You don't do that. I don't care who you are and how mad somebody makes you. You got to have some control, some self-respect, and understand that sometimes you need to step back, step out of the situation, reassess, and regroup yourself. And that's something we don't learn as people of melanated. That's the word to use.
Yeah, we don't learn.
We want to deal with the situation in the moment.
Right now.
We're gonna act the fool, act the nut, cut a shine,
right there in the moment. Where I act the fool.
But that does no good for anybody. It only makes you look stupid, makes the situation worse. You got to be strong enough, mature enough to understand when to step back and say, "Let me step back, think about this, and now I'll come back to it." But you don't have to always be right in the moment. You don't always have to. That's one thing we've learned. You don't always have to answer something in the moment.
No, let me talk about that.
Politicians are good at that. If you watch politicians, they'll say, "Well, let me look at that. I'll get back with you on that," because they don't really want to tell you in that moment what they really want. They got to go talk.
That's a good point, Milton. Yep.
Johnny Dick. So what can I say without causing any problems? And we need to take that approach sometimes in our life. Step back from the situation. I'm mad at you. Yeah, I'm fire hot. I'm really mad at you, but I can't say anything right now because it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt me. So let me step back.
And
Be
then
the
we gonna
bigger
hurt each
person.
other.
Be the bigger person. Swallow my ego. Swallow my pride, and reassess the situation. We've got to learn that as a people, so that we can stop coming on these TV, YouTube channels talking about each other so bad and so critical of each other when we should be building each other up. Okay, well, okay, Johnny's doing that wrong. Let's see if we can talk about that to see how we can help Johnny
Fix
and
it.
help ourselves to make that situation better for him, for us, for the next person
Right.
behind him. But we don't do that. We're going to talk about him like a dog and make him feel stupid, make him feel small, instead of meeting him where he is, saying he needs a little support. He needs a little guidance. But we don't do that as people of this melanated. We want
Well,
to take,
because the ego has to be right.
well, we got to get that. Yeah, we need to learn to respect each other. And that's just the bottom line. With that situation, just to respect each other. And if we don't do that, we're going to continue to see these same crazy little outbursts and people doing all this crazy stuff. And I hope everybody's okay from that situation. That's all I'm going to say about it.
What is y'all talking about?
Oh, she
you
don't
Never
know.
mind.
Oh,
Don't
she
worry
don't know.
about it.
She'll tell you about it later.
No, don't worry about it.
When
Put
you
it
hear
in the WhatsApp. And
Oh,
just put
okay.
the name.
Oh,
Put the
okay.
name.
you don't know.
All right, so I'm gonna go, y'all. So y'all could. I want y'all to read my next comment, so y'all can comment on it.
Comment.
What's this? The difficulty, I think, with men in general, is that the one?
Yeah.
My man is particular, as far as listening, is that he seems wired to solve it. Sometimes I just need to be heard. Yeah. I say that all the time. I don't need you to fix it.
Just listen.
Right.
I just needed you. We were just talking about that yesterday about something, and he had all the answers, and I was like,
I don't need your answers.
I don't
Right.
even want it to be fixed.
I want you to hear me.
Exactly.
I'm not even.
Sometimes I'm like, I know the solution. I just don't look. I got to say this right now.
Right.
But you have to understand from a man's perspective.
Right.
He wants his woman to be happy. He
He's
wants
wired.
to try to resolve everything that he can to help her. But we as men have to learn to just listen. What we were talking about earlier. I just want you to listen and don't say a word. Okay. And when you learn to do that, things become a lot better. And it's a continual process. It's something you learn over 30 years. I'm still learning. To just listen and don't say nothing. And it's hard not to say something in certain situations because you want to make sure your woman's happy. So that's something as men, give him time. It's going to take time, and you may approach it differently. You may, when you don't want him to say something, you may just want to sit there and hold his hand, and his focus is going to be like, "Why are you holding my hand?" But I'm listening, but I can't say nothing because she's holding my hand, and that may trigger him to learn when she hold my hand, I can't say nothing. But find out what works.
Right. Right.
Okay, she held my hand. I can't move. I don't know if I should take my hand back. You better not. So it's just teaching. We learn to teach each other.
Right, right. And guess what? I'm laughing because sometimes I don't even know that's all I want until he come with a whole bunch of answers, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't want to answer. I thought I wanted to answer, but I just wanted to be heard.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess it's on both ends.
It is.
Yeah.
You learn to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna leave y'all. I'm gonna leave so I can enjoy it.
We do. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
So that was awesome. I mean, for me, when we kind of go through things, I'm having things that I need the process. Sometimes I'll say I just need to process this, and then other times I realize, that he's wired to fix. He's men tools, fix, go chop the wood, that is what they do. They are fixers. That's how they're wired. So sometimes I just realize I gotta just listen to whatever he is, that he has said, and be patient.
Me too. So
I can get to the part where he listens, and not think that his listening has to happen at the onset. The listening is going to happen when the listening happens. And then also knowing when to approach your spouse too. I had to really figure that out. So when he just gets home, it's just a couple of times. When he just gets home, just gets out of the shower, a good time for me to, are not really necessarily good times, right? When he's just getting on the highway and we talking, that ain't it. Wait until he's on the highway, settle through the traffic, and we going on down the road. Then I can say what I gotta say.
Yep.
Another good time for me is when we're eating, especially when he first gets his food, because he's trying, he's just sitting down eating, and he's worried about his food. So now I can talk about it.
But he's listening.
And he's listening, and
but he's eating.
But he's chewing. So
you can't talk.
And can't talk. Just those times.
That's a setup.
It is a setup. When we wake up in the morning, he's still kind of sleepy. It's a good time for him to listen. When we go into bed at night and we're in the bed, we're kind of rested and relaxed. And right before he's about to go to sleep, probably about 30 minutes before he's about, and I know he's a real mellow out mood, then I can bring it up and he's in a more of a listening mood. So it's also us as women knowing if you want listening, when the listening is right to occur, and setting the right situations so the listening can happen. Okay. That's what I have learned.
That's fair.
Flying Guy's wife in their life. This life with rejection and abandonment will have us repeating the cycle. So glad Milton had the necessary tools to help you both endure.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a big one for me. Rejection, so good. That was good for me. A big one for me that I had to process, and it was just a part of learning that I had to go through. Flying Guy's wife. Yep. Wise words, Mr. Hillary. Yes, one Mr. Hillary, awesome. Meet people where they are, and where they have the need. This is why we do what we do at Craft Organization. Thank you so much. He's saying, thank you so much to Blind Guy, his wife, and his life. I love y'all. That's why I love y'all. Greetings. What I miss? You in here, girl, sister. You in here. Right? Wisdom from my aunt elders. I tell my kids, I've been your age. You ain't never been mine.
Well,
what?
Right there.
Welcome strong.
I like that. You ain't never been mine.
So like true. Yes, those cards are beautiful, right? Those cards were beautiful. Those Kwanzaa cards that Jatan did. She is an artiste. Yes. Hey there, Jackie C. Come on now, right? Such wisdom. You spitting that wisdom. What? Yes, spit it. Yes. Kwanzaa cards. Yeah, they were beautiful. So true, says Jackie. Facts, Brother Milton. Respect. 7 viewers. Y'all make sure y'all liking and thanking in this house. Tanika, I finally subscribed to your channel. It popped up in my feed today after commenting on one of your videos 2 months ago. Hubby says, throw it away. Oh, okay. Glad to come across you. Hubby and I are watching. Hey,
glad to have you guys. Happy New Year.
Glad you are here. Welcome, sister. Welcome to you and hubby. Welcome. Girl, you just saved my life with that tip. Knowing the best time for him to just listen. That is saved my life, honey. Yes. Now, when he's in the fix-it mode, 12 o'clock during the day, that ain't the time. By 6 o'clock in the evening when we eat dinner, that's a good time. Early in the morning, late at night, when I can look at it. I can look at his face. Y'all. Thank y'all, fam. Well, what I realized too was that people can only meet you at the depth in which they have already met themselves. And so this is the knowledge that set me free. This is that knowledge that Milton said, right? I have this up on the community tab. So you'll see a picture and it's a person hugging themselves, right? In the spirit realm. People can only meet you at the depth in which you already meet yourself. So go check out the community tab and you'll see this picture. And so what I had to learn was that here is this picture. Let's see if I can share it. So, here's that picture. And so check the community tab and it's there. People can only meet you at the depth in which they have already met themselves. And it's exactly what Milton always says, which is, what you always say, Milton? Milton says, Meet people where they are, not where you want them to be. You
Okay.
you forget. Milton got tired now, so we're going to have to get off here. So that is what's important, being able to meet people where they are. Let me say, because I want to say this, period. When you're meeting people where they are and they show you who they are, just know who they show you is who they are. Don't think that they're going to turn up to be somebody else. Jatan says, oh my God, people can only meet you at the depth in which they met themselves. Had to write that down. Go check my community tab, y'all, and snap that picture. Scroll down to that picture and you can snap that picture. Welcome, Tanika Lee. Welcome. And welcome to everybody on Facebook. Wonder who's on Facebook. Yes. Here's that other, thing that has helped me. This quote from Maya Angelou. Right, my Angelou, doctor. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You know what I'm saying? And then here, people can only meet you at the depth in which they have already met themselves. So if someone hasn't dealt with their stuff, when you meet them, you'll know, because they can only meet you at the place of where they are. So don't expect, if they have unhealed, unresolved ish, don't expect that they're going to be resolved in this moment. It's just gonna magically happen. It ain't gonna happen. And we expect people to be perfect. We somehow think that, I said this, kind of started that conversation, that when we go to Africa, somehow you're gonna be perfect, and you meet other people who are coming from different religions, different ideologies, different backgrounds, different all that stuff. Even when you meet someone here in America and you guys get together, it's not going to be perfect. Don't expect it to be, and don't expect that your issue is not going to come up and their issue is not going to come up. And so meet people where they are. You either going to, be able to deal with it or move on. And so as situations are happening around the world, let me just say, that we love people. And so this is a place of transparency. We love people, and we're not sitting here saying that we're perfect. We have all the answers. So as you all are seeing people talk about these different situations, please have some love and some respect. Put some respect on it. You hear me? On these situations. First, let's see if everyone is safe, right? Make sure the sister is safe. Make sure she's where she needs to be and she's okay. Make sure that first. Let's talk about that first. I was on last night with some sisters that were drumming, and they were praying for her healing and praying for her. Those of you all who don't know the situation, just go out on YouTube today. You're in the space, you'll see. And we just want to send love, because relationships. Now, Milton and I had already were going to do this topic before, and if you already knew from yesterday, we were already going to do this topic before, and already planned it. And on what's the app? Stereo. So we were already going to talk about this topic before anything else. And this is, of course, not what this is about, but since it has occurred, just know, have love and respect for everyone that's involved in any situation. Send love and healing. And always, first off, remember, we are African Americans, okay? And those of you in African American, and those of you throughout the diaspora. Well, before we start saying this one wrong, that one wrong, he or she shouldn't have done that, make sure we as a family are safe. Make sure your person, whoever that is, your folks, wherever they are, that they're safe and that they're okay, and know that they are loved. This is a safe space for people to come to know that you're loved, and you ain't got to be perfect over here, because ish happens, and people are not perfect, and it is what it is. Haven't seen you in a while, Kwame. I did see you. I saw you being interviewed, sir, and it was good. You and Shayla on Resplendence Language Arts did a really good job, and so we are just so happy that you are here. So welcome, 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 says Mr. Hillary. Yes. Hello, everyone. So glad you all are here. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up, because Bill wrapped it up. Wrap it up, because we've had a good time. So we're thankful to all of you for your questions. for all that you have shared. We're grateful to you for all that you've shared today and all of the information. We hope that it was helpful, Milton and I sharing today. We hope that it was helpful. We only meant to come and stay 30 minutes. Milton got happy.
Yes, I got happy. But hey, we are glad that you guys were able to join us. This was awesome. Had a great time talking and sharing, hearing from you guys as well. And it's so important going forward, meeting people just where they are. Just meet them where they are, accepting them for who they are, and understanding that it's not your job to change them. It's your responsibility to walk with them and to accept them. And you have to come in with respect. Respect yourself, respect them. You have to build trust. You have to gain trust. You have to share love. Come in peace. And those are the things that you need as foundations when you're meeting people where they are. If they can only walk, walk with them. They'll eventually get to the day where they can run. But you can't make them run when they're not capable of running in the moment. So just be respectful to others. You want the same respect given to you. For anyone starting a new business, like I said, you may only be able to feed 10 people right now, but they want you to feed 100. You can't do it. It's okay. I'll meet you where you are, and we'll grow from there. And we need to understand that in any situation, any business, any painting, if you're a painter, if you're a suit maker, whatever it is, just meet people where they are. Because a lot of people have started, say someone makes suits, and their suits are probably some of the ugliest suits in the world. But they continue to grow. They continue to learn. They continue to walk out the process. Now they have some of the best suits you ever want to buy because they stayed the course. We don't need to discourage people where they step off the course, where they lose focus, they lose hope, they lose all self-respect and self-esteem. So we have to be very careful how we approach people. Like I said with my cousin earlier, he'd been working on that podcast for over 2 years, but he finally got to the point where he's able to take that step, to make that step into what he wants to do. Now, like I said, every single day, this guy has a podcast coming out, which is great because you want to see people thrive and achieve the goals that they've set forward. So my closing words are just meet people where they are. Thank you all so much today for sharing your great insights and thoughts and comments. They've been very helpful. I'm going to take them and we're both going to use them going forward. And we're going to continue to build a safe and prosperous community over here.
Yeah. Peter File says, hey, what's up, guys? So glad you are here, Peter. Thank you for joining us. Please give us a thumbs up on your way in. And yeah, we are grateful to you. Welcome, Brother Peter. They're about to end the stream. Sorry, brother, but you can watch the replay. Yeah, you can watch the replay. The Happy Companion, as always, hey, sir. How good to see you in this
Happy New Year
up in this building, sir. Thank you for being here with us today. Strong Brother, the Happy Companion in the building. Welcome. Thanks, Mr. Hillary, says the Happy Companion. The one thing though, the Happy Companion, we're just starting to wrap up the stream. Sorry, brother, but you can watch the replay. We are on replay. You are welcome, brother, the Happy Companion. THC in the house. Thank you. 10 viewers, 16 likes. Keep those likes coming. Thank you to everyone on Facebook. We appreciate you guys so much. See you guys next time. You too, brother. Thank you. I know I'm so used to looking over there. Sorry, guys. And you know, so we have, it's amazing, you know, that in this space, at the end of the day, we are keepers of our own spirits. We have to be keepers of our own spirits, keepers of our own reality, keeper of our own emotions. And so what's important in this moment, thank you for watching the replay. What's important in this moment is we handle our own emotions, handle our own stuff, in our own internal stuff. And so wherever you are, the reason I've been talking about healing is because we need to heal. We're talking about repatriating, about going to Africa, all this stuff, but you can't go with an unhealed mind. You got to heal your ish. You got to deal with your stuff. I have to heal my ish and I have to deal with my stuff. You just can't. And embarking on this journey of immersing yourself in another culture, you got to meet people where you are, because when you go, they're not going to change for you. Come on, somebody, because I'm preaching better than you, amen. They are not going to change for you. They're going to be who you are. So don't go over anywhere. Don't go. I don't need you to go to Walmart or down the street over to Target without you understanding that you bring yourself with you wherever you go. So if you're not healed in this moment, that stuff will show up. It's going to come up for you. So do the healing. Do the stuff that you need to know. Do the stuff, the work that you need to really do. And a lot of this work that you need to do is in the midnight hour, late in the midnight hour when you by yourself. And honey, you have to cry sometimes. You hear me? You got to cry, because y'all, we don't need to come on here acting like it's all gonna be biscuits and gravy. It ain't gonna be no biscuits and it ain't gonna be no gravy until you do the work. You're gonna have to do work. And sometimes the work is not pretty. The people you need to do the work with are usually those who are right there beside you. And I have been blessed by having a hubby who was willing to do the work with me. Even though it wasn't easy, even though it was ugly sometimes, even though we both made mistakes and we made missteps. I'm always willing to air mine because I'm transparent over in this house. I ain't trying to be perfect for none of y'all. And none of y'all gonna get me in. Y'all ain't Peter. Y'all ain't gonna be when I'm standing at the gates trying to get in to see the ancestors. Black Panther gonna be there, but y'all ain't gonna be there. No, yeah, Black Panther gonna be there. Oh, yeah, he gonna be right there. Bruce Smith gonna be there. Pearl, DK, Savannah. You see what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got the keys to let me in, so it's gonna be. I got to work on my own stuff. You hear me? And so work on yourself. Do it's self stuff in this season. Novia, really, I love your name. It's so close to mine. Yours, ain't it? Happy New Year's to you, my sister. You and your beautiful family. Great information. I appreciate you. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, Strong. Sister Synolve in the building. Welcome and Happy New Year. Yes, enjoyed you all. The panel was fun. Absolutely. Hello, Nicholas. Nicholas is one of my very first subscribers, y'all. This is the original OG. Him and Milton are in the house. Thank you so much, Nicholas. So good to see you. Greetings, family, everyone. All right, guys. So meet people where they are, not where you want to be. Show people love. Because we got a lot of stuff going on. We got enough enemies out here. We got enough people out here already who are against you. If we're really going to be family and we're really going to be the community and build this community here in the West and be the true diaspora and be the true Africans that we're being called, that we are, and we're being called to be in this new season, age of Aquarius, you're going to have to come with a whole different crown. You're going to have to come with a whole different mindset. You're going to have to heal some stuff. So it's not just about singing Kumbaya. So when we come together, we actually do the work of feeding each other, loving each other, giving each other shoes, and of just honoring each other where we are and not expecting each other to be perfect. All right? Not expecting perfection, but expecting love, that we're able to love others even when they are unable to love themselves. Well, all right now. Amen. Okay. We love y'all so much. Milton, I'm Synolve.
I'm Milton.
And we are so glad that you spent Sundays, spiritual Sundays with us. And so we will see you guys back for another church service. Amen. Come on, somebody. If I would be remiss if I would not go ahead and be able to say that you all can make a donation. And you can visit us. Yeah, you can make a donation. You all can send a donation via Cash App if you feel so led and blessed to put something in the collection plate today. Then support Black media and media and make it do what you do. You can also hit the join button. As always, now we have our feeding programs for craft organization, and where we feed and clothe people, and we are hoping to expand this work to Africa. So please, if you'd like to share a gift through PayPal or through Cash App, the information is on your screen, and I'll also leave it in the link below. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Jatan, and to
Mr.
Mr. Hillary for bringing it on in this house.
Good
When
job.
they bring it, they brought the word today.
Good job.
They brought the word, and they baptized folks and read the scripture and did the song and preached the sermon, and it was good. It was really good. All right. It was good. And so we appreciate you. And to everybody in the chat, to everyone in the choir stand, we in the Amen Corner, Blind Guy and his wife, and Miss Synovia Ridley, and just everybody. We just really appreciate y'all. Happy companion. Everybody, I ain't gonna call everybody name. Peter Fire, I ain't gonna call everybody time. I ain't gonna call everybody name, Tamika. Jackie, everybody who came in this building. We just really appreciate Blind Guy, Corey, and Hugh over there. We just appreciate you. Y'all, I love y'all. And to everyone, whether you came in and said your name and said hello, wave, or signed the book as y'all entered in the building, we know y'all there. We appreciate you. And for everyone watching the replay, we love you. All right, guys, this is
Milton.
Synolve signing out. We're gonna see y'all in another video. In the meantime, in between time, know how much we love you and know how much we care about you. You are amazing. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. You're wise. You are blessed. You are loved. You know why? Honey, baby, because you just are. We're going to see you in another video real soon. Bye bye, guys. Love you.